Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sorry I've been gone for a little bit. Didn't mean to engage in a break or anything like that. But nevertheless, I'm back and it's the start of a new month. And I thought, why don't I just christen the start of the new month with a book haul? It's an exciting month too. We're reading a lot of Jane Austen in July, or at least we're being encouraged to read a lot of Jane Austen in July. And so to celebrate that, I started by reading Noringer Abbey this month, and just yesterday, and I absolutely loved it. And I can't wait to make a video about it because I had a fantastic time with it. But yes, my first Jane Austen for July was a lot of fun. Hopefully I'll be able to read more of her for this month. Unfortunately, the book haul I'm about to show you does not feature any Jane Austen in it. But that's okay, because it's got a lot of other pretty good things in it. This overall was a really good book haul, although I do have to say, if I had to lodge one complaint, the prices at my local half-price book feel like they're getting steeper. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I was spoiled by a recent trip to Boston and therefore a recent trip to the Brattle, where books come in at $1, $3, and $5. But a lot of these books were pretty steep, and so I ended up having to cut back on a lot of the things that I wanted to get. But nevertheless, maybe that's a good thing anyway. Not overloading myself with too many books is probably something that I can live with. So nevertheless, we'll start with The Red and the Black by Stendhal. This is a Modern Library Classics edition, which I'm happy to have, because this is a translation by Burton Raffel, and it's a new translation, and I don't really know anything about the previous translations of this book. But for some reason, this one stands out to me as probably being a pretty good one, but that's just intuition. I don't know if that's based, that certainly isn't based on anything concrete. But this was an edition that I wanted to have of The Red and Black, so when I saw it there, I was very happy to see it. I'll have a Everyman's Library hardcover of The Good Soldier Zvek. You can see there on the spine. We don't have any dust jacket for it or anything like that, but it is in really good condition. And I love all of the little drawings that are in it. Well, this one's not little, but there are sketches all throughout. This is one of the more recognizable ones, I believe. I really have no idea what this book is about, but I've seen some of this sort of iconography of this book around, and I didn't know that there was an Everyman Library edition of it. It's very, very handsome, so I was happy to see it, and I definitely took that one home with me. Next we have Mark Halperin's Winter's Tale. This is one of the worst covers I've ever. I hate this cover. I hate it. I've seen this in many bookstores, and I have never taken it home with me because I absolutely despise that cover. It's so boring. It's got a big sticker on it. Is that Times New Roman on as a font? I mean, it's just everything I don't like in a cover. I prefer the movie tie-in cover, which is extremely rare. I never like movie tie-in covers. I actually like the movie tie-in cover of this one even a little bit more than this one, and I hate both generally. And what adds insult to injury is just how great the original hardcover of this looked. It was a very nice hardcover. I don't know if there was a trade paperback of it at the time, but there definitely was a hardcover that I think looks great, and if I ever saw it in a used bookstore, I would definitely snap it up. But nevertheless, we're stuck with this. I'm looking forward to reading this. It's a nice, big, thick novel, which I have had a history of enjoying. Let's see, I don't know what to expect with it as a novel. The only reason I haven't picked it up before is because, like I said, the conditions of it were not in the best of shape. I don't like the cover of a lot of this, but this was in great condition, definitely readable. I'm not going to complain about it too much, and it was in the clearance section, so this was only $3 or whatever. So definitely worth it at that price, even if the cover is a little bit sucky, in my opinion. And then we've got, this is a weird edition. I don't know if this is identifiable to anybody else. I have no idea if there's a whole series of books that look like this, but this is My Anatonia by Willa Cather, and it's got this really nice sort of box that it, you know, slides in and out of, and then we've got the actual book, which has the same exact design on it, with the dust jacket. But if you take the dust jacket off of it, it's also really nice underneath. We've got the cover there, and then it's also printed on the side. So this is a really cool edition of My Anatonia. I've never read My Anatonia. I have read some Willa Cather before. I read Death Comes for the Archbishop. I really want to read O Pioneers at some point. But this is when I saw this, I was sold on it, partly because I want to read more Willa Cather, but also because I just thought this edition of it was pretty cool. I don't know if it's specific to this book or if there's a whole series that looks like this. If you know, let me know in the comments. It would be interesting in either way, in either case, to know if there are more books out there that have this sort of, you know, printing and treatment or not. Then we've got a book by Sheila Fitzpatrick, who's written a lot about the Soviet Union, particularly under Stalin. And this is her book, Everyday Stalinism, Ordinary Life in Extraordinary Times, Soviet Russia in the 1930s. I have another of Sheila Fitzpatrick's books, which actually happens to be in arm's reach. It's On Stalin's Team. This one was put out by Princeton University Press. This one's put out by Oxford. So we've got two university presses here. I have not read Sheila Fitzpatrick before, but I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I want to do a whole unit at some point in my own reading on Stalin. I want to collect a bunch of Stalin biographies together. I want to do a whole Stalin deep dive. I've been reading a fair bit in the Soviet Union, the history of the Soviet Union, the Russian Revolution, things like that. And so I've been kind of tiptoeing around Stalin, frankly, and I want to solve that pretty soon. Then we've got These Truths by Jill Lepore. A History of the United States. I've heard good things about this. Actually, I've heard great things about this. I've heard that this is quite good. And so I am looking forward to reading it myself. I won't be subjecting it to too much scrutiny from the perspective of somebody who knows a ton about this subject, but I definitely know more than I know of, I guess, the history of Myanmar or something like that. I would be interested to see how this holds up against my own sort of standard United States education of the United States, as well as the various things that you come to learn about it as you grow up and as you read more about it as a country and whatnot. So anyway, this is going to go pretty high on my TBR, frankly. Because I'm reading something right now that is about the United States history that I'm absolutely loving on just a deep, almost spiritual level. But that I'll talk about that at some other time, and maybe this will be a really good book to pair with it. And then we got one more book, just one more. This is Jonathan Swift's a biography of Jonathan Swift by Leo Damrich. His Life and His World. This is put out by Yale. I've seen this on their website. I was kind of kicking myself for not getting it on their last 50% off sale, and then lo and behold, I see it in my local half-price bookstore. This one came in at a very fair price. So it's in perfect condition. I was very happy to see it, and I don't have much of a relationship with this author, not Leo Damrich, I don't know who that is, but Jonathan Swift. However, I am under the impression that he lived a pretty fascinating life. So I'd like to know more about Jonathan Swift, and I'm very happy to have a biography of him, particularly this one. If I were to get one biography of Jonathan Swift, it would have been this one. So I was happy to find that as well. Okay, well, that's it. That's the book haul. Thank you for joining me. That was a short video for today, but I promise I have a lot of things coming down the pipeline. You will not be left out in the cold much longer in terms of getting videos from me. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you, BookTube.